only because she was too ugly. A 5-year-old little girl was frantically fought over by 3 high-quality little boys, who offered 8 trillion pink diamonds to marry her. But unexpectedly, a proud and loyal crown prince appeared. It turns out she had transmigrated into a harem romantic fantasy novel. Although she was a worthless noble lady without magic, she was treasured by her sister complex scholar sister. Unfortunately, her sister was blinded by love. During university, she had 4 excellent suitors, yet chose to marry a scumbag, leading to being cheated on, abused, and given the cold shoulder after marriage. After reincarnating, she screened suitors for her sister, determined to drive away the scumbag and select the best brother-in-law. The first candidate was a deeply calculating young duke. The second was an absent-minded, crazy doctor. The third was a reserved, gentle royal knight commander. All were outstanding figures in their respective fields. But to win over a dedicated sister complex, they had to start with the 5-year-old little sister, beyond food temptations. They even brought their nephew from kindergarten as a playmate, but things got out of hand. 3 adorable little boys not only became clingy, but all wanted to marry her when they grew up. But the first to approach her sister was the scumbag Robert. The scumbag pretended to be pitiful and showed off his acting skills because my father is too conservative. He won't pass his title to me before engagement. So could you temporarily be my fiancé? But Lily, who knew the original plot, realized this was the scumbag's disguised forced proposal. From the moment her sister fell into this trap, her life would be controlled by him. Angrily crushing a gingerbread man, the big-eyed cute child played dumb sister. What's engagement? Engagement is when sister and brother promise to be together forever. Suddenly tearing up and crying that uncle says he wants you to go to his house. Sister doesn't want me anymore? I don't want to be separated from sister. A few sentences broke her sister down, hugging her little sister and crying desperately. Because Lily had previously suffered a serious illness, she unhesitatingly rejected the scumbag. I'm sorry, Robert. I need to take care of my sister and can't accept. Seeing the scumbag still trying to persuade her, Lily pretended to faint, giving him no chance, sticking out her tongue in a scheming victory pose. No matter how many times you come, I won't let you succeed. But she daren't use illness as an excuse next time because her sister complex sister called all the capital's doctors to their home. The more her sister was good to her, the more guilty she felt because she had transmigrated into Lily's body, causing the real protagonist Leia to lose her true sister. But she would play the role of sister well and love her sister properly. Next to appear was the first candidate, Mikal. His emotional story with her sister was the cliché of the eternal second place falling for the first place scholar sister. But Mikal was much more likable than Robert, early on figuring out the little sister's sweet tooth and bringing cake on their first meeting. He even put in a good word when sister controlled her sweet intake, truly winning her heart. However, this man is tricky. She couldn't hand her sister over to him just because of a few cakes. Sure enough, Mikal was very cunning, using the excuse of discussing topics to request long-term contact with her sister. But this time, Lily didn't interfere because her sister was a top scholar at the Imperial Academy. Wasn't she working hard, hoping to achieve something in the future? She couldn't give up her career just to take care of her. Besides, sister could enjoy her work happiness, and Lily could eat Mikal's sweets for free. Wasn't this a win-win situation? Unexpectedly, the cake from last time had such a strong effect that after just 1 day without sweets, Lily, like an addict in withdrawal, lethargically ran to the kitchen looking for sweets. To her surprise, a hand suddenly extended from the wall behind her and could even speak. Waving a bag, remember to tell your sister these cookies are from brother. Lily was so scared her eyeballs nearly popped out, screaming and running away. It turned out to be the second suitor, the eccentric Dr. Allen. Due to his strange personality, he often made her sister angry. So her sister set up high-level magic to keep him out. But he came specifically to apologize this time, and the reason why her sister was angry actually moved Lily deeply. It turned out that last time he didn't promptly treat Lily's serious illness because he was urgently dispatched to support the border war zone. You could have at least written me a letter. I was really too busy. Not so busy that you couldn't find time to write a letter? How is this different from those cold, violent men who use work as an excuse not to reply to messages? In Lily's heart, Alan was already eliminated, compared to the reserved and steady fourth candidate Cedric, currently her most satisfied brother-in-law choice. But she couldn't force her preference on her sister. To express his apology, Alan would regularly come to give Lily checkups, actually just to have more contact with her sister. These men's entanglement techniques were truly extraordinary. Only honest Cedric didn't know what excuse to find, seeing brother Cedric so timid and pitiful. Even Lily couldn't bear it. Brother, you should come play next time too. Thus the 3 brother-in-law candidates frequently visited her sister's home with various excuses. Mikal discussing topics with her sister, Alan checking Lily's health. Only Cedric had the biggest contrast, professionally a royal knight commander, but privately a strong man who likes to knit sweaters. However, this family-oriented image complemented her workaholic sister. So far she liked brother Cedric the most. But until the day Cedric brought his nephew, Lily changed her mind. A head of blonde hair couldn't hide the boy's noble aura. but his words seemed ill-mannered. "I don't play with ugly ducklings," shocking Lily. Her cute and spirited nature had been praised by everyone since childhood. "Playing sharp-tongued with me? Today I'll show you who's really in charge here." Turning away haughtily and sister, "I hate him, and I hate the brother who brought him." Cedric regretted to the point of almost crying. He had wanted to give Lily a playmate and earn some favor. Who knew his nephew would ruin it? "Joey, you can't do that." Seeing their relationship instantly become distant, the cunning Mikal seized the opportunity. "Lily, would you like Uncle to take you to eat the sweets I bought today?" So it seems only those approved by Lily were called brother. Lily, still angry, initially wanted to leave but ultimately couldn't bear to. "Brother Cedric, you come too," forgiving him because he was a quiet, beautiful man who would share food. But as refined as Cedric was, his nephew was like this. She decided to teach the boy a lesson but didn't expect that the previously arrogant and proud boy would immediately be subdued by Lily. At the dessert shop, just about to feast when she received her sister's sugar restriction order, she passed the muffin cake to the boy visiting for the first time. Little Joey thanked her obediently, but flashed a victorious smile at Lily, a blatant provocation. Lily smiled instead of getting angry, deciding to get revenge on the boy and kid. "You've messed with the wrong person, daring to act wild on my turf," thinking calmly and analyzing. The honest and simple brother Cedric couldn't help her at all. She turned her gaze to the cunning Mikal. Although somewhat reluctant, she had to temporarily ally with him. "Brother Mikal, you bought these cakes especially for me, right?" Mikal, who was usually called Uncle, was shocked and immediately understood her intention, quickly nodding in agreement. "That means these are all mine," pulling the cake plate in front of her. "Then you shouldn't eat any." Her sister wanted to educate Lily but was stopped by Mikal. Adults should not interfere in children's games. Indeed, a man of superior intelligence and strategy. Lily inwardly gave him 10 extra points. Then Lily picked up the cake and chewed, making the boy drool. "If you say I'm beautiful, I'll give you all these desserts to eat." Although a noble, the boy's sweets were also strictly controlled by his family. Facing such a big temptation, he could no longer hold back, his body trembling, his little face turning red with effort, finally saying, "You're beautiful," showing he had made a very big trade-off between food and pride. Lily handed the cake to him, humming a victory song. Even her sister couldn't do anything about her. Mikal nodded with satisfaction at Lily. "Lily seems very similar to me," but Lily looked away nervously. "Even if he just helped me, I won't easily hand my sister over to him." After this test, Lily discovered a new continent. Teasing kids was so exciting. She often used food to manipulate little Joey, even making faces to scare him. The once proud little prince also turned into a crying little baby. Later, Mikal and Alan also brought their nephews. Because there was no sister interfering, they could pursue her sister without obstacles. But the two newcomers were also boys, Edgar and little Lou. One was a quiet, genius, beautiful boy, and the other was a mini version of Alan, both obedient and mischievous. But playing with a bunch of little brats was indeed boring. Better to tease little Joey. It turned out that 8-year-old Joey was the oldest of them. He insisted that everyone call him Big Brother in the future. But Lily's body contained an adult soul. She calculated that Joey's birthday was in April, and her sister said she seemed to be born in July. "So I only need to call you brother for 3 months." This statement made everyone burst into laughter. Lily laughed so hard she couldn't get up from the floor. "Ha ha ha. So funny, a 3-month brother." Little Joey trembled with grievance and immediately burst into tears. The crying sound attracted her sister who was working. This was already the 3rd time she made little Joey cry today. Lily knew she definitely wouldn't escape her sister's punishment. So she went all out and cried even louder than him, thinking this would help her escape adult punishment. But her little trick was exposed by her sister, and for making a friend's nephew cry several times, she was punished with no desserts for a month. She sadly left a suicide note and hid. Her complex sister nearly turned the entire Earl's mansion upside down looking for her. Little did she know that Lily was hiding in the study teasing little boys. Lily's Earl parents were both knights, so the study at home had long been idle, thinking no one would find her here. But she heard the study door being opened. It was Mikal's nephew Edgar. Edgar, though as intelligent as his uncle Mikal, had a personality as honest as Cedric. He came specially to read and not to find Lily, making her happy for nothing. "Lily, why are you here? Don't you know everyone is looking for you?" Just about to call someone when he was pulled to the ground by the girl. "Shh, be quiet. If you dare to call anyone, I'll steal all your desserts and eat them." Ironically, the nervous Lily's voice was louder than the boy's. Seeing the boy reading complex political books at such a young age, she sighed. What a genius. Is this a tradition in Mikal's family? Not wanting to disturb his reading, she got up to leave, but was pulled back by the boy. "Could you stay and keep me company?" Lily's inner thoughts ran wild. Does he like me? They say children's first loves are usually childhood friends. Little did she know the boy had been attracted by Lily's lively and spirited nature from the first glance. At this moment she was lost in self-admiration, her strange expression confusing the boy. He offered to get sweets to please her. Lily was thrilled to the sky, smacking a kiss on the boy's cheek. Go quickly and come back quickly. Edgar, experiencing a girl's soft lips for the first time, blushed completely, running away like a shy little bride. Lily, who had done the mischief, found it amusing. A child's first love is so cute. After eating the sweets, she fell asleep on the boy's lap. Another intimate contact made his heart race, but in Lily's eyes, he was still just a little sprout. Come find me in 10 years. Little did she know this would come true. In her dream, Lily had already been moved from the study to the bedroom, woken by her sister's call but afraid to open her eyes for fear of being scolded. But her sister hugged her lost and found treasure, crying too hard to scold her. Do you know how worried I was? This move to heaven love originally belonged to Leia's real sister, but was taken by the transmigrated fake sister. Carrying this guilt, she continued to protect her sister to ease her own conscience. Unexpectedly, the thick-skinned scumbag Robert came to harass her sister again. To change the tragedy of her sister marrying Robert, she had stopped him once before. But if she didn't stop him this time, would the plot return to the original story? McCall had spent the whole day playing Monopoly with Lily yesterday to please her, so he didn't come. Now the only helpers left were Alan and Cedric, as people simultaneously pursuing her sister. Robert was their common enemy. They divided tasks. Alan first used magic to teleport over and scout, while Lily led the little ones to form a secret squad. She even bribed the wannabe team captain Little Joey with pudding to make him listen. Everyone stealthily crouched outside the door, eavesdropping, sensing something wrong inside. Lily suddenly pushed open the door. No! Cedric used pressure to scare the man away, while Alan was still wandering around the mansion because he hadn't aimed right, thinking Robert still wanted to trap her sister with a contract marriage. Lily didn't expect he was only inviting her sister to be his partner at the prince's birthday party. Cedric seized the opportunity to become the first person to invite Leia to be his ball partner. And Lily, who went along, unexpectedly met the prince. Meanwhile, little Joey was a tsundere on the surface, but actually engaged in a secret crush. The adults were worried about this bickering couple. When they heard Uncle Cedric drop a bombshell secret, it turned out every time little Joey came to visit Lily, he was the first to get up and prepare. Having his feelings exposed, he was embarrassed and quickly tried to stop his uncle from saying more. However, Lily wasn't surprised. I already guessed this kid likes me. Beside her, Edgar's heart spilled vinegar, revealing a fake smile similar to McCall's. He offered his pudding to Lily. It seems he has a competitor. Thank you, Edgar. I like people who take care of me the most. This seemed deliberately said for someone to hear to chase a girl. You should be good to her, of course. The old routine of teasing to get attention doesn't work anymore. Little Joey seemed to understand yet not understand. He handed the pudding he had snatched to Lily like offering a treasure. Speaking of the prince's birthday party, because the second prince was still young, even children were invited. Lily was the first to sign up to taste the top-level Imperial chef's desserts. The other three little ones also raised their hands. Little did they know that to select a dress, Lily was tortured badly. McCall, taking advantage of his fashion design knowledge, found loopholes. To satisfy the sister complex sister, he strategized, using Lily as a mannequin to try dozens of dresses. Finally settling on pink dresses matching their hair color, the sister flower duo's grand attire amazed everyone. While Cedric's attire also hit her sister's sweet spot, especially that button about to burst from his developed chest muscles. It was obvious he had put in a lot of effort. Since her dance partner was Cedric, McCall and Alan only had the role of watching the children. But how could they let Leia be alone with a rival? So they found excuses to sneak into the hall to monitor. In the rest area, Lily waved goodbye in disappointment. If Cedric had stayed to watch the children, she would definitely not have left. Better to enjoy the pleasure desserts bring. Obedient Edgar, as always, provided running errands service. But in the blink of an eye, little Joey disappeared. Little Lou said he didn't like crowded places and just went out. To avoid disturbing her sister's private world, she ran out to search, truly troublesome. She put her hand on a boy's shoulder. But the person who turned around had silver hair and red eyes. The second prince coldly flicked the spot the girl had touched. His aloof and cold demeanor made the girl immediately guess his identity. She sincerely apologized. I'm sorry, I mistook you for someone else. Seeing the girl wasn't affected like other noble ladies, he asked which family she was from. I am the second daughter of Earl Branch. After a polite curtsy, she hurriedly said goodbye, leaving the prince bewildered in the wind. Little did she know that the unloved second prince also wanted true friendship. She searched until exhausted, while he was bored catching flies in a tree. After a loud thump on his head, she dragged him away, knowing others would worry about him yet wandering around. Just as she was about to scold the boy, she suddenly remembered her sister's feelings. With the same anxious and nervous heart, instantly changing to a gentle attitude, she lightly tapped the boy's forehead. Don't do this next time. Do you know how hard it was for me to find you? By the time they returned, the party was over. But a few days later, the Earl's mansion received a letter from the second prince. It turned out the prince wanted to apologize in person for what happened at the party. Lily decided to accept the invitation to eat top-level desserts. Edgar's heart spilled vinegar, showing a creepy fake smile on the surface. Thick-skinned, he went to the palace with the girl. Little did they know that enemies meeting would be particularly hostile. A palace drama was about to unfold. It turned out Edgar was the Duke's son and a cousin to the prince. Because the first prince was in poor health, the current most powerful heir to the throne was the second prince, followed by Edgar and his father. So they were both political enemies and love rivals. Seeing the uninvited Edgar, the second prince was visibly displeased. I don't recall inviting anyone else. Because Lily's sister and my uncle went to attend the noble council, so I came as Lily's guardian. Then curiously asked how His Highness knew Lily. The second prince smiled without it reaching his eyes. You don't need to know. Although the two appeared calm on the surface, they were secretly competing with each other. A full-scale palace drama scene. The second prince had wanted to apologize to Lily for his arrogant attitude last time, but the process was interrupted several times by Edgar, annoying the prince to the point of almost murderous intent. Seeing this, Lily scolded Edgar for his disrespect, but she didn't favor either side. Not wanting entanglement with the prince, she straightforwardly told him she only came for desserts and had no other excessive thoughts. The prince immediately understood Lily had no romantic interest in him and looked dejected. Can I be friends with you? If you like the palace desserts, you can come often, and I can also send the imperial chef to your home weekly. This retreat to advance worked well. Lily gladly accepted, and incidentally pulled Edgar and the second prince's hands. A friend's friend is also a friend. You two should get along well from now on. But the previously harmonious scene instantly dropped to freezing point. The prince indeed sent the imperial chef to the earl's mansion, and Lily was extremely happy. But it worried her sister. Apart from too many sweets being unhealthy for Lily, they also owed the prince a favor. She well knew the principle of being indebted when accepting gifts. It turned out that when they first received the second prince's letter, it clearly stated interest in Lily, but was politely declined by her sister's reply. Because who would want to marry their sister into the scheming palace, pushing her into a fire pit? To make Lily eat fewer sweets, she would invite the three little ones to share each time. Because as a prince, he couldn't easily leave the palace, to thank His Highness for his hospitality. Lily decided to follow her sister and Mikal, who were attending the council, to visit the second prince. Seeing the girl, the prince smiled like an obedient dog, offering to show Lily around the palace. But midway passing the night camp, they heard Brother Cedric was in trouble. He had been confined for causing trouble in the palace. No wonder he hadn't come to see her sister for so long. Lily thought she had misheard, shocked with eyes wide open. That quiet, beautiful man who knitted sweaters actually caused trouble. She seriously doubted Cedric's previous honest and straightforward image was an act. When returning home, she told her sister about this, feeling there must be hidden circumstances. At the same time, the girl had reached the age for school but needed to pass the primary magic test for kindergarten admission. She hadn't even passed the basics. In modern terms, it would be like being intellectually disabled and unable to solve 1-1-1. Originally fantasizing about having the three little ones accompany her to school, now her beautiful dreams were shattered. Recalling the tester's strange eyes, Lily felt like an outcast, the previously lively and spirited person now like a stray dog, formerly addicted to sweets but now unable to eat a bite. The three little ones offered their sweets, trying to comfort her. But Lily not only didn't appreciate it but felt greatly insulted. You think I can't go to the academy, that's why you're treating me this way. Moving her gaze to the adults, certain they taught this, not wanting to stimulate Lily's sensitive and self-deprecating heart, they all carefully avoided her eyes. But the more cautious they were, the more the girl felt over-pitied. She roared at the adults, "You are not allowed to pity me." Learning the three little ones had received admission notices a day ago, Lily gave up completely. Perhaps not going to the academy and living with her sister forever wasn't bad either. But just then the butler urgently brought the second young lady's notice. Her sister received it with solemnity, as if receiving an imperial edict. It was densely covered with test data records, but the general meaning was that Lily had extremely high magic within her body but extremely poor application ability. The final result was pending, and strangely, there was also a large amount of unknown magic mixed in. Seeing this, everyone sighed in relief, comforting Lily that more practice would make it better. But only the girl herself was on tenterhooks. Could it be because she had transmigrated into Lily Annie's body? If her sister discovered her identity as a fake sister, the consequences would be unthinkable. Lily went to the palace for a final detailed test, but met the prince at the end. It turned out the prince had already inquired about Lily's magic test. He assured Lily not to worry. Whatever difficulties arose, he would help solve them. Her sister respectfully curtsied to the prince, expressing gratitude. Lily only then remembered that she seemed to always directly call the prince by name without any avoidance. Who in the entire palace would dare be so casual with the prince? Sister Leia had been busy with Lily's school entrance matter to the point of exhaustion. After explaining a few things to Lily, she immersed herself in council work. The prince took Lily to visit the royal library. It was magnificent and rich in books, indeed several times larger than the Earl's mansion. Thinking the genius boy Edgar must like this place, and the next second indeed met him. But upon seeing the prince, his face changed instantly. The jealous one immediately spoke sarcastically. Lily seems to meet the prince often, because Lily is my friend. Edgar hated that the prince wouldn't disappear immediately and didn't want to respond to the prince's words, so these two childish ones decided to ignore each other's existence, only speaking secretly to Lily. Unable to bear it, Lily exploded at the two. Didn't I tell you to get along well? She suggested the three of them read together. But unexpectedly, they would compete even in this, not only comparing who brought more books, but also showing off whose reading was more profound. Edgar, as the Duke's son, directly read the prince in front of the prince without any avoidance. This was clearly blatant provocation, so would the prince fight with Edgar over this? However, the prince restrained himself, only because he didn't want to make Lily, caught in the middle, uncomfortable. Lily was greatly surprised, never expecting the seemingly honest and kind good boy was actually a jealous dark one behind the scenes. Jealousy truly changes people. Pretending intimacy, she tugged the prince's clothes. If you cause more trouble, I'll go out with Kale alone to read and won't play with you. Edgar immediately backed down, promising never to dare again, quietly reading the entire afternoon. The three little ones walked out of the royal library together, waiting for parents to go home. But as soon as Lily left, only the prince remained alone. Because of his high position and authority but without a single true friend, and fearing persecution from siblings, he only dared stay within the heavily guarded palace walls. Only beside the girl could his long tense nerves relax, reluctantly looking at Lily. Because I can't go out, you must come to the palace often to see me. Sympathizing with the prince, Lily dared not answer directly, only promising to write more letters because she feared the creepy smile of the boy beside her. At this time, her sister and Mikal finished the council work and prepared to take Edgar and Lily home. But on the way, her sister stepped on her dress, and was princess carried by Mikal, the two broadcasting their affection, freezing the three little ones in awkwardness. Lily was even more furious, and just holding arms would do. Why must you hold her waist? Believing Mikal was a cunning opportunist deliberately taking advantage of her sister, incomparable to the honest brother Cedric, seeing the little one almost staring through him. He squatted down to explain to Lily, Uncle isn't trying to take your sister away, so please don't hate me. For her sister's sake, Lily reluctantly took his hand, but would still watch his every move. Before leaving, she glanced at the lonely prince, secretly promising to visit him alone next time. Only then did he bloom with a smile like spring. But unexpectedly, a few days later when she entered the palace again, she was directly confessed to by the prince. Although I like you very much, I don't plan to propose to you immediately. The direct confession made Lily's brain freeze and she stumbled over her words. I'm not ready yet, no. I have no such plans at all right now. Seeing her so resistant, the prince was immediately heartbroken. I know you're not willing yet, so I'll wait until you come of age and I've established myself. Then I'll formally propose to you. The boy's sincere face was blushing, but in Lily's eyes, it was just children playing house. In 10 years, when he had a girl he truly liked, how awkward would it be facing her? Patting the boy's head, don't speak too early. You'll meet many more friends in the future. Seeing the girl didn't believe in his true heart, the second prince stated he should not underestimate his determination, and said he was first attracted to Lily at the birthday party that day. I felt a magical power in you, but at that time, neither her sister nor anyone else could feel any magic from Lily. It turned out direct royal family members were all born with certain abilities that others could only obtain through practice. The first prince could read minds. The second prince, Kale, could sense people's hidden magic through physical contact. And according to his observation, the reason Lily couldn't use magic was because something was blocking it. The state where ordinary people could naturally use magic was called opening the meridians, and the prince happened to possess this rare ability. In the future, just by staying with the prince, Lily would be able to use magic normally. Soon after was Lily's first birthday since transmigrating. Edgar came to the Earl's mansion early with his uncle to celebrate, hiding a gift behind him but hesitating to give it to Lily. The shy boy turning as red as a tomato. I want to be the last one to give you a gift. He hoped to leave a deep impression on the girl. His difficulty in expressing himself was revealed by his uncle. The little boy cried in urgency. Lily couldn't bear to disappoint the youth's innocent and confused true feelings. Actually, I remember the first gift I received the most deeply, and I like anything you give me. Even her sister beside her marveled that her troublemaking sister had grown more understanding with age. Only then did little Joey shyly hand over his gift, repeatedly instructing her to only open it after he left, because besides the exquisite gift, there was also a love letter. Next, little Lou and Edgar arrived simultaneously. The genius boy indeed was different. Not only did little Lou come empty-handed, but he dressed himself up as a gift for Lily. Lily tactfully rejected this blatant confession. Can I decline? Guessed you would say that, so I promised to fulfill 3 wishes for you. Only then was Lily satisfied with so many witnesses here. I definitely won't forget. Then Edgar mysteriously handed a box to the girl. Curiously opening it, the contents shocked everyone. A rare pink diamond ring and a jeweled necklace. Edgar explained this was just bought with pocket money, no need to feel burdened. Little Joey beside him sourly teased tisk. Indeed, rich people buy diamond rings as easily as buying vegetables. Lily was still hesitating whether to accept this gift when Edgar mentioned he specially bought a large-sized ring so she could still wear it when she came of age. Hearing this, Lily was even more reluctant to accept. If she took this ring, wouldn't it be like accepting Edgar's disguised proposal? And from her observation over several months, people in Mikhail's family were all dark and scheming. Even the seemingly obedient Edgar was no exception. If he turned dark one day and used this to threaten her, wouldn't she be tied to him for life? Thinking of these things, Lily got goosebumps and returned it on the excuse that the gift was too expensive. Blinking with pure innocent big eyes. "This is my first gift to you. Do you really not want to accept it?" Seeing the boy looking so pitiful, Lily couldn't refuse and comforted herself not to suspect him, so she gladly accepted. But her traveling parents didn't come on such an important day. Her sister thought her little sister was upset about this. Little did she know the fake Lily was actually quite relieved because this way she didn't have to face the real Lily's parents and feel guilty. Afterward, she also received a snowman 3-piece set hand-knitted by Brother Cedric. Although not expensive, it was full of sincerity. Alan and Mikhail also offered sincere birthday wishes, although they previously befriended her to pursue her sister. But after several months together, they seemed to have developed feelings for her too. Having been an orphan in her previous life, she now felt a happiness explosion. Surrounded by relatives and friends, harmonious like a big family, her birthday wish was to travel. Mikhail provided accommodation, her wealth rivaling nations, buying villas everywhere for convenient lodging during travel. Several adults planned to take Lily and the little ones to a scenic area near their college days, but quarreled about who would hold Lily's hand during the teleportation. The results left the genius boy Edgar deeply disappointed. Growing up under the influence of his night uncle's physical training, Joey slightly prevailed, causing the two adorable kids to vie for attention. Even Big Sister couldn't help but giggle at the sight. To make everyone happy, Lily stood between the two little ones, showing equal affection. But this result made Joey pout in displeasure, as he was the one who won first. Then he activated a teleportation magic circle, and in the blink of an eye, they arrived at a beautiful lakeside. They played in the water, boating, enjoying the peaceful, blissful moments. The adults seemed to relive their school days, but because all three liked the sister, they transformed from friends into love rivals. Brother Cedric surely wanted to stand beside sister, yet he always silently protected the children from behind. His kindness and good character won the younger sister's heart. Mikhail refused to be outdone. To please his 5-year-old sister-in-law, he took the little ones to visit a high-end pastry shop. The luxurious decor plus the exquisite, delicious pastries made Lily lose herself in a sea of sweets, mentally giving Mikhail 30 extra points. The wife-doting Edgar provided running errands service, without considering himself at all, picking only what his beloved liked. Compared to the other two little ones who only cared about playing and making noise, the difference couldn't be greater. The two mischievous kids almost tore the shop's roof off. She loudly stopped the two naughty children. But this scene amused the shop owner. "You look just like your sister." It turned out sister often visited this shop with Mikhail during college. The shop owner was an old acquaintance. But Lily never knew that her sister also loved sweets in the past. She was also a pampered little princess, but later for her sister's health, she never ate sweets in front of her. It turned out sister's love for her far exceeded her imagination. She wanted to put down the desserts and go back to buy her sister's favorite flavors. But her inner thoughts were seen through by Mikhail. "You don't need to put back what you've chosen. I'll pick some for your sister." Although this man's attentiveness was commendable, his excessively keen perception was truly a bit frightening. Near the pastry shop was a flower shop, and Mikhail certainly didn't want to miss the opportunity to send flowers to sister. Edgar wanted to be alone with Lily, pulling her to the store entrance to wait. To pass the boring time, he explained various difficult-to-remember flower names and blooming periods to Lily, effortlessly reciting knowledge from books. He truly was a genius. Lily looked at him with admiration and joked, "If you opened a flower shop in the future, business should be quite good. It would be nice if I could open a flower shop with you." The boy's meaningful confession and probe, eagerly awaiting Lily's answer. But she didn't want to be tied down by anyone. Then little Lou and Joey would probably come to make trouble every day. Not hearing the answer he wanted, the boy became sullen. At this moment, Joey came out from the flower shop. He handed over a bouquet of flowers that matched her hair color to Lily. She gladly accepted, compared to Edgar's deep and serious love. Joey's pure liking gave her no burden at all. She mischievously broke off a flower and placed it on the boy's ear. And one for Edgar, too. "Everyone should be together later, just like one big family. I hope we'll never be apart. Let's play together this time next year, too." Just then, Mikhail came out carrying pink roses. The originally cunning and scheming man, at this moment had a warm and innocent smile on his face. This change amazed Lily. What exactly was love, that it could transform someone like this? That night, everyone stayed at McCall's villa. When she woke up in the middle of the night, her sister was nowhere to be found. She went out in the dark to search, but ran into Edgar, who was also looking for his missing uncle. A boy and girl missing at the same time made Lily worried and suspicious. Suddenly, she noticed in the darkness a man and woman talking about something. The two clever children immediately hid to eavesdrop. It turned out McCall was proposing to Sister, but Sister refused, citing the need to take care of her sister. The man still tried to persuade her, but was interrupted by Alan. He sneered mockingly. "Fortunately, I couldn't sleep and came wandering. Otherwise, McCall would have gotten ahead of me." It turned out the three were college schoolmates, and they all liked Sister. The two little ones sneaking was punished by Sister. McCall's eyes looked like they could devour someone. If not for Lily's constant interference, with his status and methods, he would have gotten Sister long ago. She felt chilled by his stare. Back in the bedroom, she asked Sister who she actually liked. Although she thought Brother Cedric was most suitable, it still had to be someone Sister herself liked. But Sister said she wouldn't choose any of them, because she didn't want to destroy the friendship between the three. The 2-day trip ended. Lily hadn't had time to unwrap her gifts when she returned home, when she was told her traveling parents wanted to see her. But Sister and the butler and servants all looked solemn. It turned out the worthless noble daughter Lily without magic power had been neglected and despised by her parents since birth. But having heard she was close with the second prince, they had political utilization ideas. Learning that her sister was about to become the next tool in her parents' power struggle, Sister was heartbroken, but they didn't know. Lily had already opened her magic with the second prince's help, but she didn't care for such hypocritical family affection. Having Sister's love was enough. Sister told the three men about Lily's situation. Unexpectedly, McCall proposed a solution to take the sister along when marrying. Lily was greatly shocked. Could Sister never escape this kidnapping-style marriage? Lily cried loudly to stop it. She couldn't sacrifice Sister's happiness for herself. Alan grabbed McCall's collar. "Are you crazy?" But Sister readily accepted the proposal, with the condition that the man must allow her to cancel the marriage any time. To this, McCall remained silent. How could he let a cooked duck fly away? Alan, who had just opposed, now seized the opportunity. "I can allow you to cancel the marriage anytime." Only Cedric didn't try to take advantage of the situation, respecting Sister's decisions and promising unconditional help. Seeing this, Sister already had the best candidate for engagement in mind. After returning home, the two sisters avoided their parents even at meals. But how could they escape the blood-sucking mother's active offensive? Disregarding her daughter's wishes, she forcefully arranged marriages for both sisters. "You will marry Grand Duke Mikal, and your sister will be sent to the second prince's side." Sister could no longer endure. She announced on the spot that she would get engaged to Cedric and take Lily to live at his manor. Mother was greatly shocked. She absolutely would not agree to her daughter marrying a lowly baron. Sister stated the engagement and wedding would not cost the family a penny. Then she took Lily and ran away from home, teleporting directly to Cedric's house. Joey, who was having dinner, dropped his jaw in surprise. Sister told Cedric what had just happened, apologizing for the presumptuous decision to seek his help for engagement. "If you're unwilling, I won't force you." But Cedric's answer deeply moved Sister. "I know you're tired. I accept your proposal because you look like you need a place to rest." Unlike Mikal and Alan, who only wanted to get engaged to Sister, he truly cared about her. And on the other side, the domineering prince, who wanted the girl all to himself, unexpectedly rejected this marriage arrangement and promised to help Lily unlock her magic power unconditionally. He called Lily and Sister into the palace to discuss unlocking her magic power. After all, this concerned Lily's future, but he required them to keep absolute secrecy about his abilities, because to survive in the palace's undercurrents, he must hide his strength. So he brought the two to a magic array that only high officials used for confidential meetings. He took out Lily's precise magic power test results. Sister was shocked. Her sister wasn't worthless at all. The test showed she possessed extremely high magical talent. The prince stated he only needed to help Lily develop regularly. With later guidance and practice, she could release magic normally. But Sister worried the prince had ulterior motives for her sister. The prince was prepared, producing a magically binding contract promising all his help for Lily would be completely free. But this made Sister even more curious. "Why would you help Lily like this?" "Because she's my first friend, and the only one who allows me to completely bare my heart." The girl's sincerity had once deeply touched him, without flattery or pretense. This was also why he rejected the marriage arrangement, because he knew if he forced Lily, he would lose her forever. But on the way leaving the palace, Sister cautioned Lily not to casually reveal her magical talent, especially in front of their Earl parents, only because she didn't want her sister to become father's next tool in power struggles. Because Mother interfered with her and Lily's marriages, they had already broken ties with the family. So they came to brother-in-law Cedric's night training field to discuss moving. But opening the door, they saw a screen full of abs. Brother Cedric training with sweat pouring like rain, his sword energy flowing like water, stirring the heart, truly a sword fanatic. The well-developed muscles made Sister's face flush and heart race. The knight's gazes fixed on the two, immediately covering the little one's eyes. She ran away embarrassed, telling Cedric to come out after tidying up. And the man, first time being seen by his goddess, couldn't help but feel his heart flutter. Cedric quickly dressed and ran out, only to hear a sentence that crashed his brain. "Can I stay at your house tonight?" About to be engaged to the man anyway, Sister, wanting to escape her parents' control, simply decided to move into the man's house early. And she knew Cedric was honest and gentlemanly. He wouldn't do anything inappropriate to her. But the man seemed too surprised, not answering for a long time, making Lily anxious on the side. What is this silly boy hesitating for? Hurry up and agree. 5 minutes later, after calming his excited heart, he hastily waved, explaining he had no intention of refusing, although they were contractually engaged. Never receiving an invitation from his goddess was too surprising. Then he immediately went home to prepare. They had just arrived at the Baron's manor when they saw little friend Joey. Joey's parents went traveling, so he temporarily stayed at his Uncle Cedric's house. To create a private world for sister and future brother-in-law, the two little ones ran aside to play, learning that his secret crush Lily would be living with him. Joey laughed proudly, not hiding his joy at all. And when the second prince learned about their cohabitation, he became very unhappy. And on the other side, happy Joey didn't expect to make her cry on the first day. Early in the morning, providing wake-up service. Her hair is messy, but in his eyes she looked like pink cotton candy, soft and cute. Truly, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. He couldn't help but reach out to touch, unexpectedly being teased by the girl. "Do you want to taste it? I don't want this as hair." Oh, our Joey has become smart. Seeing Lily treat him like a fool, he angrily pulled her hair. Unexpectedly, the usually mischievous and clever Lily suddenly cried vulnerably, shocking Joey, who froze helplessly. "I didn't use force." Who knew crying was contagious? The two cried louder and louder, alarming sister and brother-in-law next door, who checked in panic. The two with swollen eyes. Lily exclaimed, was it because of entering a child's body that even her mind became childish? At this moment, hot-tempered Joey suddenly shouted at her, "The way you hold that sword, your wrist will break when you swing it." Although she understood the boy cared about her, his overbearing attitude displeased her. She threatened if he lost his temper again, she wouldn't learn swordsmanship from him. Girls were just meant to be cherished. Joey immediately softened, gently holding the girl's hands, carefully guiding her methods, the moment his palm touched the warmth. The pure-hearted boy's face immediately turned red, swishing away his face, not daring to meet Lily's gaze. But the flesh extending from his ears to his neck betrayed him, guessing the boy's budding feelings for her. She thought when he grew up, remembering this scene would definitely be embarrassing. Hearing the boy started learning swords at 1-year-old, predicting his future achievements would surpass Cedric. "Joey, when you become famous later, don't forget me. After all, you'll meet many new friends at the academy later." But the words stuck in his heart weren't said. Even with new friends, she would still be the goddess in his heart. Since sister announced her engagement to Cedric, the devastated Mikal disappeared from everyone's sight, while the genius physician Alan quickly emerged from the emotional quagmire, still like before, often bringing little Lou and Edgar to play with Lily. Only the address changed from Blanche Earl's mansion to Cedric Baron's manor, and Joey became a clingy shadow, following her everywhere. This day, Lily had her regular magic development session with the second prince, but Joey's appearance displeased the prince. Following sister, who attended the council meeting to enter the palace, the carriage stopped at the palace gate. Joey was still sound asleep. Lily had to pull the yawning boy along. This scene happened to be spotted by the prince, who came out to welcome them. Staring at the two's intimate hand-in-hand, he froze instantly, feeling jealous. His expression changed from full of joy to gloomy and frightening. But to avoid making the girl dislike him, he immediately hid his negative emotions, switching to a smiling face. "So you're Sir Royce's nephew. I heard you live together." All of Lily's movements outside the palace were investigated clearly by the prince. But Joey not only didn't bow to the prince, but continued to rest with closed eyes, not responding to the prince. Despite Lily's repeated reminders, he still had a casual attitude. She awkwardly complained there was nothing she could do with him. To avoid embarrassing Lily, the prince endured without anger. But the prince, who cared so much about the girl, didn't know his one oversight almost caused a lifelong regret. Although she moved into brother-in-law Cedric's manor with sister, her old friends still came to play with her. Who knew the pure-hearted Joey, who had a crush on Lily? His possessiveness grew increasingly strong, openly confronting the cunning genius Edgar. But this time she didn't indulge either of them, leaving the two jealous ones behind. She chose to play with little Lou from the magician's family. It turned out just now, the worthless noble daughter Lily without magic was accidentally detected by magician Alan to have amazing healing talent, and her magic power-holding capacity rivaled sister, who was a top academy scholar. But when he was curious about the reason for her sudden magic opening, both sisters kept silent. Obviously, the second prince's regular magic development for Lily had taken effect, but due to the confidentiality agreement, she couldn't reveal a single word to anyone. At this point, Alan proposed to serve as Lily's preschool magic tutor. Lily was inwardly delighted, only because Alan came from a highly prestigious magician family. Having him as her teacher would put her streets ahead of ordinary people. But sister hesitated. Is this really okay? Only because she had rejected Alan's proposal recently, worried this would cause their relationship to break. Unexpectedly, the man's words deeply moved her. Aren't we friends? But currently the girl's magic power was extremely weak, needing to reach teaching standards first. So Lily found little Lou alone to secretly learn skills. As Alan's brother, little Lou's magical talent was stronger than average. He easily transformed colorful rainbow bubbles, something same-age children couldn't do at all. She showered him with exaggerated compliments. "Wow, our teacher Little Lou is so amazing." Then he told Lily to first concentrate and sense the magic power within. Clever Lily closed her eyes and followed instructions. She truly felt magic surrounding her body, and she could even sense the other's magic power. Then she mentally imagined the object she wanted to transform, trying to send magic power outward. Although the second prince helped her develop beautiful butterflies, Lily preferred free little birds. So she spread her hands. A transparent little lark hovered above, flapping its wings, making it look vivid and realistic. This made Lily exclaim in wonder. As a modern person who crossed over, the first time using magic excited her greatly. Although Little Lou told her this was just the basics of basics, she was still immersed in satisfaction and joy. Guessing Joey and Edgar should also be able to do this, but the two said at this level they would need to practice for a year. Only then did Lily realize she was truly gifted, secretly delighted. The dream of becoming a great magician was within reach. Soon evening came. The two little ones prepared to say goodbye, but Alan looked around, not seeing Cedric return from work. Wasn't his job quite leisurely before? Alan immediately realized. Sister chose to marry Cedric. With Mikal's vindictive personality, venting all his anger on Cedric made sense. This made Lily despise Mikal's petty behavior even more. Although Cedric was the Royal Knight Commander, he wasn't just a brute who brandished weapons. He often played romantic piano pieces, capturing Sister's heart. And the manor had a harmonious atmosphere, but the peaceful happy days didn't last long. This evening, Mikal suddenly visited. He had indeed come to find Sister. Cedric clearly wanted to follow, but he always respected Sister's decisions. Lily couldn't stand it, pulling Cedric out to investigate, only to hear bombshell news. It turned out Sister and Mikal had mutual feelings since college. They had planned to marry after graduation. But in the end, they didn't get together because of Sister Lily. "Is it just because Lily doesn't like me? You know how much effort I put in to please her." The man begged her heartbreakingly, but Sister wasn't moved at all. "You only did that for me, Mikal. Don't you also dislike Lily? Lily needs a family she can truly rely on." Hearing this, Lily felt guilty. She had told Sister not to mind her and follow her heart. "What if I become Lily's support? Can we go back to how we were before?" Mikal compromised. He truly realized deeply that Leia valued her sister more than herself, but before Sister could answer, Cedric broke precedent and interrupted the two. Lily was greatly shocked. The honest and simple man finally had the courage for love. Perhaps he was very afraid of hearing Sister's answer. Sister, seeing this, sent Mikal away. Her silent attitude said everything. But Sister didn't know. Her decision would soon put her sister in danger. The next day at the palace, the second prince ended his meeting with Lily early due to state affairs. Before leaving, he repeatedly warned her not to wander around. But how could Lily, who was full of curiosity about the palace, obediently listen? Unexpectedly, just as she stepped out of the palace gate, she was intercepted by the Crown Prince. The Crown Prince and Second Prince were competitors for the throne, but the Crown Prince greeted her with a smile. The girl knew the deep palace must be full of intrigue. The Crown Prince looking for her couldn't be good. Just as she was about to slip away using the excuse that Sister couldn't find her, she was preemptively stopped by the Crown Prince. "I've already contacted Miss Blanche. She'll come here to pick you up herself after the council meeting ends." The girl was puzzled, were all her thoughts written on her face. After several rounds of verbal sparring, Lily was outsmarted by the Crown Prince. At this point, the Crown Prince finally got to the point, revealing he naturally had the ability to read others' minds. The Crown Prince suddenly became pitiful, stating his true purpose for finding Lily. It turned out the Crown Prince was in poor health with not long to live. Currently, his greatest worry was his brother Kale, because after his death, Second Prince Kale would become everyone's target. Although Kale could protect himself with magic, he worried his brother couldn't bear the pressure. After all, excessive loneliness breeds tyrants. From his observation, Lily wasn't only the girl Kale liked, but also his only friend. So he entrusted his brother to her. Lily readily agreed, promising with her companionship Kale wouldn't become a tyrant. Seeing this, he finally let the girl leave, and the Crown Prince finally understood why his brother liked you. Even himself wasn't an exception, looking forward to meeting the girl next time. Leaving the palace, Lily was worried if this continued, would her secret of crossing over and being reborn be revealed by the Crown Prince? While waiting for her sister, she encountered big trouble. Robert, who came to the palace on business, happened to spot her. Enemies meeting face to face, particularly red-eyed. The man approached her with a gloomy expression. The terrifying pressure made Lily extremely frightened, guessing he wanted revenge for previously stopping him from pursuing Sister, thinking she would suffer at the man's hands. Unexpectedly, Mikal appeared just in time. Standing in front of Lily, the bully Robert immediately lost his arrogant air, excusing himself, saying he just wanted to chat with the girl. Mikal knew well Robert's narrow-mindedness, definitely wanting to seize the opportunity to retaliate against Lily. So he quickly took her away, internally despising Robert's despicable behavior. Really don't know how he became the male lead. Soon they ran into Sister, who was off work, telling her what had just happened. Unexpectedly, the previously antagonistic Mikal had saved her life at the critical moment. She bowed 90 degrees to express gratitude. Mikal, still immersed in heartbreak, seemed awkward and embarrassed, since learning Sister and Mikal had liked each other since college. Plus, Mikal's help to Lily this time, Cedric, as the fiancé, had misgivings. When talking about this, both seemed awkward and distant. So at dinner, Lily found an excuse to pull Joey away, making time for the two to be alone. But Joey soon lost patience, clamoring to go outside for a walk, to avoid disturbing sister and brother-in-law's private world. She promised to give him desserts, but Joey seemed immune to this trick, so she used feminine wiles to coax him. "As long as you stay here obediently, I'll give you a kiss." "I don't want it. You won't really kiss me anyway." It turned out last time she made the same promise but broke it. Rebellious Joey angrily walked out. "I'm going for a walk today." Unexpectedly, as soon as the two arrived at the garden, they saw a heart-racing scene. The next day, the girl finished her regular magic treatment with the second prince as usual, but on the way home, she found the carriage had deviated from its routine, and there was an eerie feeling in the carriage. A bad premonition surged in her heart. Just as she was about to jump out, she was covered by a large hand, accompanied by the other's incantation of the Vicaris sleep spell. Lily fell asleep. When she woke again, she found herself bound hand and foot. Gagged, with her eyes covered, she understood she had been kidnapped, guessing it was done by the second prince's political enemies. But she heard a familiar voice. "Don't worry, I used a sleep magic that even regular magicians can't resist. She won't wake up for several hours, and I heard she has no magic power at all." It turned out the speaker was Robert's accomplice. The reason for kidnapping Lily was because of Mikal. It turned out when Mikal caught Robert threatening Lily, worried he would harm Lily and Leia, the two sisters, he used his authority to remove him from the position of Earl Heir. The man gnashed his teeth, cursing, "If not for that madman Mikal, I wouldn't go this far." Hearing Robert planned to first use her to threaten sister, then cruelly kill her, Lily was terrified and shaking, but she strongly suppressed her inner fear. Acting unnoticed, absolutely couldn't let them discover she was already awake, comforting herself that sister would come save her, only to hear the man still blaming her. "If not for this child back then, I would have had Leia long ago." Lily clenched her fists, remarking that how could this scoundrel be the male lead? Suddenly the carriage stopped. Caligar Forest was located in a remote area near the imperial capital, as it was shrouded in mist year-round. To prevent safety accidents, they decided to wait until the thick fog dissipated before continuing, taking advantage of the moment the two got out of the carriage to rest. Lily seized this perfect escape opportunity. Although currently she could only visualize magic power, it played a crucial role, transforming magic power into a dagger, successfully cutting the ropes on her wrists. Just as she freed herself from all the restraints, she was discovered by the man who appeared out of nowhere. "You can actually use magic." And on this side, sister who learned of her missing sister was crying with self-blame. Both husband and wife took the blame for not picking up Lily in time. Alan was also anxious because he couldn't track Lily's weak magic power. Only Mikal remained calm and collected, analyzing who had kidnapped Lily, discovering Robert hadn't returned home, plus being deprived of his heir position. That's why he dared to retaliate against Lily so recklessly. Alan interrupted. "Now is not the time to assign blame. If it really is Robert, they probably haven't left the imperial capital yet. Currently, it's been 2 hours since the disappearance. The carriage couldn't have gone far, and the entire capital received orders to check all carriages." According to his knowledge, Robert couldn't teleport. Even if he hired help, general magicians wouldn't use multi-person teleportation. Although determined they were still within the imperial capital, the exact location was unknown. Suddenly, Edgar poked his head in, thinking of a good method. And on the other side, the girl seized the opportunity to escape into the forest, although her feet were almost smoking from running. She was easily caught by one of the kidnappers. One teleport blocked her path, thinking she was going to die. An unexpected miracle occurred. The rumored noble daughter without magic power, actually at this life-or-death moment, erupted with powerful magic, mimicking the kidnapper's sleep magic used on her earlier, shouting the Requila incantation with all her might. The kidnapper fell asleep on the spot, but all her magic power was also exhausted. She had to find a hidden place to hide first, trying to delay time, waiting for sister's rescue. But after all, she was just a 5-year-old little girl, so scared she wet herself. "So you're here." The scumbag brother-in-law appeared soundlessly without warning. The hide-and-seek game is over, grabbing the girl's wrist, forcefully dragging her. "You always disrupt my plans. If not for you, Leia and I would have lived happily together, and I wouldn't have come to this point. You brought this on yourself." Always his own fault, yet always finding a noble-sounding reason to blame others. Lily, even though afraid, had to defend her sister. "Don't joke. Even if sister married you, she wouldn't be happy." In the original story, sister who married Robert only experienced endless suffering, countless instances of domestic violence, affairs, and neglect. "What did my sister ever do wrong to meet garbage like you?" The man was enraged with embarrassment, drawing out a dagger to stab Lily. Might as well go all the way, calculating that as long as sister didn't discover her location, even killing the girl wouldn't prevent him from threatening sister. But just as he was about to make his move, sister arrived in time to stop him. It turned out just now, sister and friends all couldn't find the girl's kidnapping location, seeing the adults anxious and at a loss. The genius little Edgar suddenly poked his head in, expressing his desire to help, like Sherlock Holmes incarnate, stating his point from the kidnapper's perspective. If it were me, I'd definitely go to Caligar Forest. Although it's near the imperial capital, the place is not only sparsely populated, but also constantly has thick fog for cover, so it's easy to avoid people's sight. A few words enlightened everyone. Edgar, who loved reading books widely, indeed analyzed correctly. Sister quickly teleported to Caligar Forest, saving Lily in time, holding the lost treasure and crying uncontrollably. While Lily fell asleep from the prolonged ordeal, she slept for 49 days before waking. During this time, friends all came to visit. Edgar informed Lily about the kidnapper's fate. Robert's evil deeds angered the Crown Prince and Second Prince, ordering all those involved in the kidnapping to be beheaded as a warning. The Crown Prince even went to see the Emperor for Lily. And Mikhail also apologized guiltily to her, because his presumptuous actions led to Lily being kidnapped, but Lily knew Uncle Mikhail wanted to protect the sisters. The fault wasn't with him. Through Magician Alan's examination, surprisingly, Lily's magic power had opened to 1-fold. But what Lily cared about most was Second Prince Kale. During her recovery, not only did he not visit her, he didn't even send a letter. But a few days later, she received a breakup letter from the Second Prince. Only because the Second Prince's position was unstable. Worried the girl would be hurt again because of him, he chose to cut off contact. But Lily didn't understand the prince's good intentions. Planning to go to the palace to confront him, who knew just approaching the carriage? She was scared on the spot. The horrible kidnapping scenes were still vivid. The carriage became an indelible shadow. Nightmares kept coming, despite family and friends' comfort and guidance. Multiple attempts still showed no progress. But Lily understood if she continued to avoid it, her spirit would suffer endless torment. Might as well face it directly. So with her little friend's company, she approached the carriage again. But at the moment of opening her eyes, she didn't encounter the expected terrible memories. The carriage interior was decorated like a starry sky scene, as if standing in the vast, dazzling starry sky. Points of starlight like a dream. Little Lou proudly showed off his work. But actually, this was all Edgar's idea, using this method to help her overcome her fear of carriages. Although Lily was touched to pieces, she immediately went to the palace. But the prince had already ordered to forbid her entry. Anxiously, she shouted at the palace gate, "Kale, if you don't come out and explain clearly now, I'll never see you again in this life." The tiger-like threatening roar shocked the nobles in the palace, who all heard it. Seeing no response, she pretended to be pitiful to the gate guards. "I really need to go in. Without my companionship, your prince will be very lonely." Just as the guard was in a difficult position, Second Prince opened the palace gate with a gloomy face. "Didn't I tell you not to come look for me? But the robber kidnapping case wasn't your fault, and she had promised the Crown Prince she would always stay by Kale's side." Suddenly, the prince cried, the lofty and cold prince in front of others, now sobbing continuously. "I'm really scared of losing you, Lily. Although last time's kidnapping had nothing to do with the royal family, but as a prince I have too many enemies. If he got too close to the girl, this kind of thing would happen many more times eventually. The girl would be hurt because of him, even lose her life." Seeing this, Lily also felt afraid in retrospect. "Can I write to you occasionally?" The cautious prince understood that maintaining contact through letters would equally threaten Lily, so he resolutely refused. But this made the girl furious. "What the heck? Clearly you were the one who liked me, now it seems like I'm the one desperately clinging to you." Suddenly the prince pulled her close, forcefully kissing her. "Lily, I really like you a lot." Kissing her hand, making a promise, asking for some time, promising when he established his footing, he would definitely make her his empress. After a goodbye kiss, the prince reluctantly entered the palace gate. Coming to her senses, Lily looked blank. Kale. He kissed my lips?" Then she screamed in shock. "Ah, this is too sudden. That brat Kale definitely knew he did wrong and ran away. Next time we meet, I definitely won't let him off easily." Not knowing when she meets the prince again when grown up, she'll have none of the arrogance from just now. Meanwhile, Leia was about to experience her own happy ending. It turned out that Cedric had been jealous and brooding over Mikhail's previous incident. Little did he know that this very jealousy would help they find their true happiness. It transpired that theirs was a marriage of convenience, knowing that his sister would file for divorce once she gained custody of Lily. Even understanding that he was merely being used as a tool, Cedric still wished for Leia's happiness. But at some point, he had grown greedy. He wanted her sister to see him, wanted to make her his exclusive possession. The man wept bitterly as he confessed and apologized. "I'm sorry, Leia." Unexpectedly, his sister threw herself into his arms, her eyes filled with affection. "You only need to answer me one question. Do you love me?" He loved her. How could he not? 8 long years of secret admiration dating back to their academy days. Yet the exceptional men who appeared around his brilliant sister made him hesitate, fearing he wasn't worthy of her. Working tirelessly day and night, he became what others called a sword-fighting fanatic, successfully joining the Royal Knights. Now speaking those 3 words, "I love you," aloud, he felt no regret even if rejection awaited. Who would have thought his lips would suddenly meet warmth? His sister had kissed him first, but this tender moment was witnessed in full by 2 little ones out for a stroll. Curious about what Lily was watching, Joey was about to approach when the girl, who had been watching with great interest, pushed him behind her. "You're still too young to see this." Though Joey was actually 2 years older than her, To avoid disturbing the couple's private moment, she bashfully pulled the boy away. The two adults then retreated to their room. 8 years of secret love finally bore fruit, and the wedding proceeded as planned. Except this time, the pretense had become reality. Upon receiving the wedding invitation, romantic rival Michal fell into silence. Alan, however, had long since found peace. Not only did he offer to serve as their wedding officiant, he also became Lily's preschool magic tutor. Though if her overprotective sister knew about his intense teaching methods, she might explode on the spot. There he was, preparing to strike, hurling a lead ball at Lily with full force. Even her bangs were blown back by the speed, leaving Lily too stunned to curse. But precisely because of this, her powerful magic was awakened. Acting on instinct, Lily protected herself with a magical barrier and deflected the ball 5 meters away. He praised her limitless potential, but the joy lasted barely 2 seconds. If you waste your magic power too early, you might not have strength left when it truly matters. Then came rest time. The massive drain on her magic left her ravenous. She speared a large piece of cake and performed a one-bite swallow. This shocking display left Joey's jaw hanging. Had her previous ladylike image been an act? Completely shattering the boy's expectations, he clamored to tell his uncle. But the couple, with their wedding approaching, had no time to spare. Among these concerns, Lily's parents posed the greatest threat. Worried that the Count's parents would take her sister away on the wedding day, Leia spent the night sleepless going to her sister's room. "Lily, do you miss Mom and Dad? Whether you ultimately return to your parents or continue living with me at Cedric's home, I'll respect your choice." But she wasn't truly Lily's biological sister. Having witnessed her parents' ugly nature, she felt no emotional connection to them whatsoever. "Sister, I'm not going anywhere." One sentence gave her sister complete reassurance. She would fight to the death before letting the parents take Lily away. Soon came the day of her sister's wedding ceremony. Joey's mother, meeting her future sister-in-law for the first time, presented her with a precious family heirloom necklace, wondering if her brother Cedric had stepped in dog waste to win the Empire's most beautiful woman as his wife. And even the 5-year-old sister was adorably charming. As an official mage of the Imperial Magic Tower, Alan served as their wedding officiant, but stopped midway through reading the vows. Surely Alan, once a romantic rival, wouldn't oppose this union? Lily looked on with concern, unaware this was her sister's arrangement. It turned out her sister was using this opportunity to fight her biological parents for custody of Lily. The Countess spoke calmly. "Since your sister has married out, she's no longer part of the Blanche family. What right do you have to take away my daughter?" Her sister countered by detailing their parents' years of neglect toward Lily. It emerged that because Lily lacked magic power, her parents had never held her since birth. They ignored their younger daughter completely, let alone showed any care. Witnessing this, the wedding guests condemned the cold-hearted couple, but the father remained unperturbed. The law clearly stated that children were their parents' property. Seeing this, Lily worried greatly. If this went to court, her sister would have no chance of winning. Just then, Michal made a spectacular entrance, announcing a new law the Emperor was about to enact, roughly stating that parents found guilty of child abuse or neglect would face criminal sanctions. Minor cases might mean jail time, severe ones could affect family status. As a member of the Royal Council, Michal's words were beyond question. Fearing damage to their reputation, the Count and his wife finally relinquished custody. But Lily knew this couldn't possibly be such a coincidence. She glanced at Edgar beside her, smiling radiantly, knowing he must have used his family's influence. Under the combined pressure of Edgar and Duke Michal, the Emperor had approved that legislation. The wedding ceremony then continued. But afterward, Joey's father insisted on taking his son home. The parents, who loved to travel year-round, felt guilty after hearing today's custody battle. They decided to stop boarding their son at Cedric's residence and chose to care for him at home until he came of age. Though she'd missed the fun of teasing Joey, Lily understood that all good things must come to an end. Soon after, Alan also left to take up his position at the Magic Tower, with little Lou following his brother back to their family home, while her little friends would visit when they could. What hurt and devastated her most was Edgar's sudden farewell. She invited the boy to come play at her house. Unexpectedly, he refused for the first time. "Lily, I'll be leaving here soon." The boy suddenly announced his plan to study abroad for 9 whole years. Lily couldn't believe it. How was this possible? Edgar bowed his head apologetically. "I'm sorry, Lily. Actually, the study abroad decision was made last summer, but I couldn't bear to see you sad, so I kept it hidden until now." Lily slowly released the boy's hand she'd been holding, angrily shouting, "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" If he'd told her from the beginning, she wouldn't have invested her heart and feelings, nor would she feel such pain upon his departure. With that, she turned away decisively, leaving the boy frozen in place. Back home, Lily cried with her head in her hands. "Liar! You clearly said you liked me, that you'd always stay by my side. All men are liars." Seeing her sister's tears, Leia embraced her comfortingly. Her usually mischievous little sister seemed truly heartbroken this time. She could still endure Kale, little Lou, and Joey's departures. But Edgar, he could see through Lily's heart even when she couldn't understand it herself, knowing what she liked and wanted, and he always helped her at crucial moments. At some point, she had grown dependent on Edgar. The feeling was completely different from what she experienced with Joey and little Lou. Perhaps this was love, which was why losing him felt so unbearable. Until she read Edgar's letter. It turned out the boy wanted to become excellent, to become her support. She guessed it was because of what she'd said in the library before. If you want to marry me, you'll need lots and lots of money. You need to be not just strong, but smart too. Now she regretted it. She didn't need any of those things anymore. But seeing the tear stains the boy had left on the letter, Lily's eyes also filled with tears. The boy mentioned in his letter that in the few days before leaving, he hoped Lily could spend time with him. Yes, Edgar had always been the one accompanying her, so now when he needed her, she should be by his side too. She immediately set off for Edgar's residence. During those 4 days, they played chess, built snowmen, peaceful and happy, treasuring each remaining day. Since her sister had married someone else, Mikhail also planned to leave without any attachment. Perhaps Men needed time to forget about her sister. Probably when he truly let go, he would return here again. Finally came the moment of parting. You must write to me often, don't forget about me, you absolutely must come back. Hearing the girl's reluctant words, the boy's eyes also reddened. Embracing and weeping together, he promised he would definitely return to the girl's side. Little did they know that when they met again, they would become enemies.